Hey everyone, welcome to our Wealth Wednesday interview. And today I am interviewing Allyson Lindstrom, who just achieved 3-star Golden Circle and now is in our 6-figure income club. So first of all, huge congratulations, Allyson.
You?
We're so excited for you. And let's start the interview off with tell everybody, share your story. Like, how did you get started with us? Let's start there, and then we'll go into kind of how you were able to achieve 3-star.
Okay. So I had been part of another direct sales company for about 12 years, and it was very successful. I had a really successful team, and I was really happy for a very long time. It gave me exactly what I wanted as a stay-at-home mom who was a mom and a wife in a family that was relocated a lot, so it just was perfect until it wasn't anymore. And I just, when it would come time to leave to go do the home parties, which is the primary way of doing business, I was sad. I'd be sad all day long because now my kids were older and they were gone to school, and then they'd come home and I had to rush and throw dinner at them and leave out the door, and it just didn't feel good. And there was also this piece in me that just felt like there was more that I should be doing in life. It just wasn't fulfilling a purpose. Like, that fulfilled a purpose at a time, but it wasn't a big life purpose. And I was looking for something else. What I thought I was looking for was not isogenics at the time. I started getting my certification in professional life coaching. But at that time, my metabolism had changed, and I'd never had a weight problem before. And I wouldn't say I had a weight problem. I just wasn't happy with the way that my body looked. As I got closer to 40, things were changing, and it seemed like nothing that I could do would make any difference, no matter how hard I worked or how clean I ate. And so there were so many friends of mine that were friends from my prior company that had now built businesses with isogenics and were very, very successful. Financially, even though that wasn't what I was looking for, but physically with the products. And so I decided to, and that took like 18 months for me to do that, because I said no for a really long time. I even tried another program because it was cheaper. And I didn't do my due diligence on the ingredients and wasn't happy with that. So it took me a really long time to finally say yes, but then I did. And within the month I met, my first goal, and I saw how the products were different, and I shared accidentally, really, because I was really freaking out that we were going on vacation. I couldn't wear all the clothes that I bought the summer before. And so I put on my shorts, and I was so happy I could get my shorts on. So I wasn't really thinking, okay, now I'm going to start sharing.
Right.
But I threw something out on Facebook, and I got a ton of response. And then I saw, okay, this could really help people. And that was it. It just, once I saw how simple that process was, and I am part of an amazing team that has a great system, and just listened to my sponsor, Lori Olson, and took on her training, and it grew from there.
That's awesome. And now you're a 3-star golden earner, 6-figure income. Give me a break.
I never, ever, ever imagined it.
Isn't it awesome? All right. Well, last year there was 6 of us, and this year I'm totally expecting that to at least double, and I'm hoping maybe triple. So you're going to be in that club. So excited, so proud of you. And Lori Olson's amazing. And I think, that's a really great business tip, is that when you are coachable and you work with your team and your leaders, great things happen. We don't have to have all the answers. We can learn from the people who have had success in front of us.
Exactly. For sure. Be coachable. Okay. That's huge.
Huge. Okay. So share with everyone, what do you do daily? Like, what in a day of Allyson, like what tasks do you do every day to move your business forward?
So I will say that my days don't always look the same. I try to work in that power hour so that I know I'm touching on those primary things every single day. But I tend to take a Sunday evening or a Monday morning and look at, what are my intentions this week? What do I need to focus on? And plug that time. I found that if I don't schedule my tasks into my calendar, then the day runs me, instead of me running the day. So I make a list of the things that I need to get accomplished. And I try not to make the list too gigantic, but what are the things that I want to focus on? And I plug that right into my calendar and do my best to be really disciplined when the little alarm comes up that says, now you need to do this.
So do you set alarms to remind you of tasks?
Yeah, because I use a Google Calendar and it'll tell you 30 minutes before the next thing you have scheduled what you need to be doing. And so I follow it.
That's a great tip. I hope you guys are taking notes. That's awesome. Okay, so share with us, have you had any, now you've been with us for how long?
It'll be 2 years next month, April. So just right around the corner is my 2 years.
So almost 2 years. Have you had any challenges or obstacles since you've been here? Or was it, hey, I fit into my, beach clothes for my summer vacation and it's just been like, woo, skyrocket ever since?
No, not at all. I mean, there's always different obstacles. I mean, in the very beginning, one of my obstacles was this is so normal. I was afraid of what people would think. So I had a lot of fear around being part of a direct sales company, of being part of one company and then another. Mm-hmm. How would that be perceived? Do I look like I'm jumping here and jumping there? I feel like that really held me back in the beginning. I also had a lot of relationships with the other company that I was afraid of, I was just afraid of losing those friendships and losing those relationships. And so I would, rather than posting things publicly like I was taught to do, I would set custom settings so certain people couldn't see what I was. I was just so afraid of what people might think of me that I was tiptoeing around. And at that time, I was also collecting a leadership check from that other company, and I didn't really know where I was going with this. So I was just trying to kind of do two things at once, which plus my coaching certification. So I guess 3. So it was harder. And I limited myself because of those fears. So I hung on to that for a long time before I felt more confident about where I was going. But as I became more passionate and as I helped people and they had real success, it was in alignment with purpose, which was what I was missing anyway. So then I became less afraid of what other people would think because I knew I was truly helping people. And if other people didn't understand that, that was about them. That wasn't about me. So I started making that public. So, and then it was like crazy. It was like every month. I'm not a math person. I'm not really skilled in finances, but I would show my husband, who really is a bottom line guy, like, look at this chart, look at my compensation history. It just keeps growing and growing and growing. There's something to this. And he was supportive of it too, as he saw that happen. And it continued for, I would say, 1.5 years. And then things changed. And I would really, on the average, I would enroll for about 1.5 years, anywhere from 5 to 10 people a month. Mm-hmm. And now that wasn't lucky. I was super consistent, and I know that's why. But something happened in the fall where my consistency didn't change, but my enrollments were going down. And then the fear came back. Like, what does this mean? What do I have to do? I started comparing myself to other people who were growing, where all of a sudden I felt really stagnant. Is this as far as I can go? Those sort of messages I was sending to myself. And then I finally just had to get it together and realize it's not as far as you can go. You just need a new strategy. And it was probably in November of this past fall that I just wrote down it was like a 5-point strategy of things I was going to do differently to bring new energy into what I was doing. And to also realize I was a leader, and while my enrollments were slowing down, it really wasn't about my personal enrollments anymore. It was teaching people to have personal enrollments. So just getting my whole head wrapped around that. So part of my strategy was to do some coaching groups. That was phenomenal. I did some coaching groups, and my team is on fire. And so where I felt I was stagnant, all of a sudden come January, I was just cycling more and more and more every week. And it's really because of my team.
Yeah, and this is something I have this same exact conversation with people all the time. I'm thinking of my friend Sarah Farnsworth right now. Same exact thing. She really did a ton of enrolling, and then her enrollment started to slip. And I'm like, but hey, look at all your leaders emerging. So it's like it's hard to do both very well at the same time. And I definitely feel like I'll have months where I'm enrolling a lot and I'm not working with my leaders quite as much, and then it flip-flops. Then I have leader promotions and I'm not as enrolling as much. So it's definitely a little bit of back and forth, but I think everybody watching this is going to be motivated by the fact that it's happened to you too. Like it happens to me and it happens to everyone. And we just have to be able to, I always tell people, ride the highs, because the highs can be so high, the lows can be so low. Just try to stay, right in the middle.
Even keel. Don't get too attached to the outcomes. That's a big thing for me that I try to teach my team.
Yeah. All right. So where does Allyson go for inspiration? Do you have favorite books or podcasts you like to listen to?
Yeah. Gosh, I don't know. I have a whole bookshelf of books, but one of the things that, and I think I got this from Lynette Davis and Paul Kruger, but I don't know. So many people talk about this. Eric Worre talks about this. Is having a morning routine. So I have a morning routine of a gratitude practice, and that started after Lori sent me the book, The Magic by Rhonda Byrne, and that was phenomenal. And so I do a gratitude practice every single morning. I also try to always do my reading my devotionals from my Bible too. So that helps, and do some meditation and prayer. And then I try to read 10 pages a day from a personal development book. And so yeah, GoPro from Eric Worre was a big one. The 10X rule was a huge one. Right now I'm reading Brene Brown's Daring Greatly. So for anybody who's struggling with fear, this is really about shame and vulnerability and showing yourself compassion and how being vulnerable really connects with people. I found that really powerful too in training some of my team that are experiencing fear. They're worried about what people think, or just really putting themselves out there. And it makes sense, especially if you've never done this before, or if you have always struggled and you're embarrassed to show where you are. You feel like you should be further. If you're embarrassed of your before pictures. I mean, it's that kind of vulnerability that attracts. So while you think that you might be afraid of what people are thinking, that is exactly what other people are looking for, because what attracts us to each other is that empathy. And when they see that other people have had these struggles and you've put it out there, they know they can come to you because you understand.
Yeah, there's a huge connection when that happens. That's awesome. I will have to put that book on my list. I've not heard of that one. So thank you. You gave me a to do tonight. All right. How about as we get ready to close, what are your best business tips that you can give everyone watching tonight? So everyone watching tonight, they're in the ISA for Wealth group. They're wanting to do the business to some degree. Some are really hoping to get to your level where you're at right now, earning 6 figures a year. So what are some tips that you can give them?
Set goals. Set real goals. One of the things that I notice when I coach people is they say, I hope, I wish, we'll see where this takes me. Be brave enough to say, this is my goal, and set one that's going to stretch you a little bit. Because here's the thing, like, even if you don't hit the goal by your deadline, I promise you have made it way further than if you would have just wished your way along.
Absolutely.
Because you had something that you were, and if you don't make it, whatever, the deadline changes, you're still going to work towards it. So have a goal, be consistent. Consistent doesn't mean you have to kill yourself. Just it means you're consistent. And along those lines, have some boundaries, because sometimes we can go a little overboard and wear ourselves out. So, be aware of what your values are, and you make time for your values. And so when you're scheduling your week and your day according to your values, you're going to find that balance. It doesn't have to be all this or all of that. So have those boundaries. Be really aware of when you're saying to yourself or to your sponsor, I can't do this, that won't work. Because those attitudes keep you from seeing all these possibilities are around you. So that comes back to being coachable and being just open-minded and open-hearted, that yeah, it might be uncomfortable and it might be scary, but you might really discover that you have a passion and a talent that you never knew, and it's going to make a difference in other people's lives. It's not really about you anymore. So
Yeah, that's when everything changes, when you really make it about other people. So
yeah.
you didn't come here for the money, but now you're earning quite a nice income from that. So how has it affected your family?
Oh my gosh. It's, well, so this is interesting. We're kind of up in the air right now. So I have all these little things that I want to do. It really helps with family vacations. My oldest children are in competitive dance, and that's really, really expensive. So it definitely eliminates a lot of stress. One of the things I'm really grateful for is that we're always able to give to different organizations or to church and tithe without fear, with true gratefulness, and that's a big deal. But there's other things that we have earmarked. Are we going to build a pool? Are we going to go on a vacation? And right now, just from some personal things that are going in our life, we might be making another major move across the country. Yeah, again, and we're cool with that. We're used to that in this family, but I don't know. Whatever happens, there's far less financial stress in our life than
Security. Yeah. Yeah, that financial security is priceless. It really is when you have a family. Yeah. Well, we are so proud of you. You're a blessing to our whole team. We just love you, adore you, and can't wait to see what's next for you. And thank you for inspiring everybody that is tuning in to watch this video tonight. So I thank you for getting on with me during spring break and all your busyness.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon.